And what's good? I'm finally getting around to doing the Texas Chainsaw video that I was supposed to be doing weeks ago, but I've had some issues. My headset bust. I couldn't do any streams or videos or anything for a while. I only managed to pump out some FIFA, and obviously I've been posting FIFA, which has taken over a lot of time. But we're finally getting here. We're finally going to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game. I have a couple of things I want to talk about. There's going to be some mentions of my opinions on the game now that I've got just about 200 hours into the game now, and I'm going to give some of my thoughts. Basically, I'm just going to try and cover some negatives and positives, talk about a whole lot of different, like, what I'm feeling with the game at the moment, what I think is good, what I think is bad, what I think should be blah, blah, blah. We'll get to it in the end. And towards the end of it, I'm going to ask some of the people, if anybody watches the video, to check it out and all of this, that they're going to give me some opinions on what they want from content from me for the next while. But for now, we're going to be talking Texas Chainsaw. And again, if I get any of the devs to check out the video, I'd like some communication with those. I really want to try and get talking with the devs. I like the game. I know I'm not a big content creator, so I'm not really in the place to be like, oh my god, talk to me, I'm so important. But a little bit of dialogue. They've been great so far, honestly. From Twitter, just in general, trying to get in contact with anybody just to get like opinions across or getting to check out the last video, which they did. It's been good. So I honestly have no problem with the gun media team. Yeah, I know some of the community does, but there's just so many toxic people that just carry over from some other toxic communities that just came through, and it's unfortunate for the devs because like they're doing a really good job. Again, there's some things I do want to talk about that are negative, but at the moment, I'm in a good place with the game. I'm really enjoying it. The game's like a month old, just over a month old. We're coming up on 2 months nearly, I'd say now, and I'm in love with it. I love the game so much. But to get it out of the way, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of touch on the negatives at the moment. In my opinion, of course, I'm not saying that I'm gonna attack the devs and tell them they're shit, the developers of the game or anything. Just in my personal opinion, this is how I'm feeling about some of the different things in the game, around the game, blah, blah, blah. Firstly, I just want to say, check out the gameplays in the background. 2 decent enough matches. I had a little bit of fun. I think one's Cook and one is Hitchhiker. Check those out. But, right into negatives. The first thing I have to complain about with this game is the water valve in Slaughterhouse. It is one of the most painful, agonizing things to try and deal with in this game. The map is laid out hard enough as it is, as the battery and the gen are very wide from each other, and then to have the water valve in the middle, so you have to try and get in to get. Slaughterhouse can be a tough match as it is, but 9 times out of 10 when I lose a game or lose 2 or 3 people on Slaughterhouse, it's because they've gone for the water valve. And I really, 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 really hope that the devs have seen it, or people have said it enough that they've got it in their mind for one of the updates. And maybe by the time I post this video, when it posts up now, they'll have one of those updates like, hey, this is what's coming, and it'll be written on it. And I'll have no point for even talking about it. I really do hope that that's kind of it, because other than that, like, that map in general to me is probably, like, a lot of people I play with complain about it, like, oh my god, it's terrible, every time we get it, we lose, la 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 la. But like, anytime I play on it, the only thing I really worry about is the water valve. Once you get in there, somebody loses their place. It's instant. Like, if they go down there, they're going to get stabbed down there going down to turn off the valve. If your family is what I mean. You're going down, you're going to get stabbed. Then you have to camp it. If you don't camp it, they're going to go for it, and then it's back out again. So you lose a person pressure-wise on top by having the water valve on the bottom. Speaking of the water valve, I'm going to complain about the family house's water valve, because in the entirety of nearly 200 hours on this game, I've not seen one person get out from using the water valve in Family House. I can't get an achievement to do all the escapes on Family House because I can't get it. The map is so small and condensed that the placement of the valves and the tank itself is so difficult to get to. And I know, oh my god, skill issue, you'll get it eventually if you keep trying, or you'll get a game where you get it. But I have 200 hours in this game, and not once have I seen anybody do it. Anybody I've played with, if I've died and I've sat and watched the game, I've not seen anybody go for it because they don't need to. The fuse or getting out towards the gen and the battery is just way easier in Family House because you don't need to go for that valve. That valve is such a dead, like, it's not used. It's genuinely not used. So I hope again that there may be some movements of the valves themselves or the tanks or anything to try and help. The next thing I do want to touch on, I'm sure this is a subject that's been bet to death by every single person in the last couple of weeks, but I just kind of want to voice my opinion on it. The pricing of the characters. I know it's, again, everybody's complaining about it, they've said their piece, whatever. Anything else, even the premium content, I think for my price is €17. I was like, okay, premium content, I'm sure we'll probably get 1 or 2, maybe 3 pieces of premium content in the game's life. The fact the characters are tenner each, okay, I get it, I understand, right? You're paying, they're doing. I'm not really blaming the devs. I get their logic behind it, but I wish that you could get a victim and a family member in that €10 price, because of the fact that I've seen, and again, I'm beating a dead horse by talking about any of this. I know I'm beating a dead horse, and I know every person and their mothers has said what I'm about to say. But the fact that I would pay €10 for a family member that I might not get to play for an evening, I could play an entire evening of this game, and if I don't DC, which is another problem I feel will happen with these, because it's the way the game is at the moment already because of Bubba, but €10 a piece, loads of people are going to be buying these characters. Of course they are. I'm going to buy them. I don't like the prices. I'm saying, oh, I wish it, but I'm still going to support the game because I love it that much. But paying €10 to play a family member and then not being able to get to play the family member because either somebody's already beat me to it, so I have to be like, okay, I don't mind, I'll play somebody else, and then that's an entire evening of my day or an entire weekend or whatever until I get to play this character. It just feels a little bit poo. Where I do wish that the two characters, like a family member and a victim, had been released at the same time, then you pay a tenner and it's like in a bundle or whatever. Cool. That's again, I feel like everybody who plays this game or is a content creator has either said that they don't mind, which at the end of the day I don't. I wish it had been a tenner for 2, but at the end of the day, if it is what they're charging, it's what they're charging. I'm going to support the game no matter what if I possibly can. If I have the funds to do it when the stuff comes out, I'll pick it up. If I don't, I don't. It's just, I don't know, it left a stale taste, I think, in a lot of people's mouth, which felt weird in the community, on Twitter, even on Reddit, which I don't even use that much, but I've seen it. It just kind of, I don't know, people were just being weird about it. They were like arguing and having a go at the devs and telling them, oh, blah, 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 you're robbing us. Like, they obviously put a price on it by their own work. Like, again, this game didn't come out at the same price as a Call of Duty game. It's not like, you know, like it's a cheaper game. They're trying to make their money by cosmetics and characters and whatever else they can do. I don't know. Like, I'm on the fence about it. On one hand, I'm like, I don't mind paying for it because I pay for, if I'm playing Dead by Daylight, per se, I'm still paying my money, but you're getting more in that than just a character. Like, say a bundle, like if they're putting out a DLC, I don't know what way they're doing their DLC yet, and I don't think anybody knows, but if they're putting out a family member and a victim at the same time, like on the same day, and then you have to pay €20, the game was nearly €20. You know, I think my game, if I had it paid full price, would have been €30. You know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing where the argument is, but on my stance for it, where I am with it, I'm like, I get why they're charging, and I get it, but I just wish it hadn't been like that. I wish it had been the €10 for 2, but that's my thoughts on that. Of course, in the comments, please feel free to talk to me about what you think, how you feel about any of this stuff. Just drop it all in the comments, and I'll try to reply to as many as I get. I don't know if many people will see this video, but hopefully. That's a good kill as well there. He got stuck turning off the light in the middle of it and it got done for. But that's me done talking about the pricing. I don't really, at the end of the day, I don't care anymore. When I seen it, I was like, oh, this is terrible. And then it came around to me a couple of days later and I was just like, it is what it is. It could have been worse. It genuinely could have been worse. And there's going to probably be like a bunch of skin bundles. I think they had execution packs is up. The premium content, which I'm sure people are going crazy about. I get it. I think maybe, again, in the lifespan of the game, we'll probably get 2 or 3 premium content drops, and that's about all we'll get. So, it's fine. The next thing I will have to talk about, which I don't want to, because I don't think the devs should change anything when it comes to this, and it's the Bubba problem. And it's not the devs' fault. It's not the game's fault. The game runs on a system where Bubba helps, Bubba's there to break objects. Bubba's there to break down doors. He's there to break down the boxes. He's basically the brute that'll get you wins. But the amount of people in this game that don't know how to communicate or be patient is the problem, in my opinion. The amount of lobbies where if somebody had just asked me, hey, could you be Bubba? And I would have switched. I'd be playing as somebody else. I'd be like, right, I'm playing as this person. I'm going to see what somebody else switch. And if they had have just said, do you mind playing as Bubba? Or message into the little box, hey, can you switch to Bubba? Probably would have done it. But the amount of people that just DC because, oh, I'm not playing as Bubba and you're not playing as Bubba. A little bit of communicate. There's a text box for a reason. If you just use the text box, I'm sure people will either communicate or say, hey, no. And then if they say no, that's more the reason. But the amount of games and the amount of time you have to waste waiting for lobbies because people just don't want to play Bubba for some reason. He's not even that like unfun. I don't get why nobody wants to. And I know there's the argument of, oh, I've played him so much, I've leveled him up. He's in level 3 perks, he's got a level 3 ability. I don't want to play as him, I want to level up somebody else. That's fine. But not every single lobby do you need to back out and not play as Bubba. You can give him a go. Like, just because you've maxed him out, that means you'll be a strong one. Or, hopefully, a strong one, unless you get a really bad team that just kicks your ass. But it's unfair on some people and having to wait 5-10 minutes for a game because you get somebody who joins, sees their Bubba, leaves. Somebody else comes in, sees their Bubba, leaves. You come in, you switch to Bubba because you're sick of waiting for other people to play as Bubba. You're just like, fuck it, right? Nobody else is going to play as him. I'll play as him. And then when you get in, they get somebody else. And they still DC. It's just, so, I don't know. It's just, some people, like, again, there's a lot of people on the game. There's a lot of people I've met on the game that don't mind playing Bubba. They'll switch instantly. The minute you go, hey, do you mind if I play as this person? Like, communication, I think, is one thing. You jump on a mic or you get into the text chat and you just say, hey, do you mind if I play as this person? Or, hey, can I stay as this person? Somebody else play Bubba. I'd say 8 times out of 10 where that's happened, I've seen it actually, somebody has changed. Like, a little bit of communication is all that's needed, and you'll probably get into a whole lot more games, and there's a lot less stress. But, on this as well, I have to say, I hope, and I don't know if it is going to be the case, I'm assuming they will, but I hope the devs come up with a character or get a character from another movie or something that gets the same kind of like mechanics to break things but plays differently or whatever, like they can break the doors, the boxes and whatever, so that there's that little bit of spice so people will be like, right, I don't mind not playing as Bubba, but I can play as this person instead. That's fine. The little bit of variety in it instead of just chasers and trappers. If there's another, like, I call Bubba like a brute class. If there's another brute class to come into the game and it can do basically what Bubba does, but a little bit different or something else in mechanics, I think that'll change the Bubba system or Leatherface system. I keep calling him Bubba. I know it's Leatherface, and then we switch up names, and well, Bubba is what he is. Okay. I'm pretty sure if we did that, we'd probably have a whole different system, and people wouldn't mind getting the brute character anymore because there's a bit of variety. It's the fact that, I have to play as Leatherface and the game requires me to play as Leatherface. I think if they came up with another character that is like a brute, and then it doesn't say required to play as Leatherface, but one of the two brutes, so like blah blah blah, this class, that class, like even if they made a class system for the characters, because Sissy and Johnny are chasers. They're just there. They're chasers. I know you can trap with Sissy and her poison, whatever, you can poison things and blah blah blah. They are chasers. Cook and Hitchhiker are trappers, even though it's just a lockpick, it's basically like a trap system. If they did that kind of thing, I think it might open up a couple of the I have to say it, like sulks, the absolute sulks, because that's all they are, the people that won't sit and change or be like, just, hey, I don't mind, these two people are good on this map. Like, I know there's not a lot of people that are very knowledgeable about the game in that sense as well, where they're like, oh, these two people are good on a map, so I should play as Bubba, or hey, these two people have very good perks in their people, I should play as Bubba. I'm not having to go at people for that, because that's just making a situation way more complicated than it already is, but I think that's just kind of me covering the negatives. I don't think there's anything else I really want to talk about. Gameplay-wise, I don't have any issues other than what has been mentioned already, the valve, the water valves, and the Bubba people. Other than that, I don't really have any other negatives. So we're going to get on to probably one other little thing I want to talk about before I start hyping the game up even more. The next thing I want to talk about, I'm not counting it as a negative, so I've kind of ended out the negative phase of the video, is the phase of the couple of weeks where the PC crossplay wasn't working for everybody. The crossplay was turned off because it was to counteract any hackers that had gotten into the game early, to just beat hackers. I'm not putting this down as a negative for me. And I know this started war between the community. A lot of people were fighting with devs. A lot of people were saying, oh, the game's dead already because PC can't play with their friends. And, oh, we're stuck with the hackers. I think turning PC crossplay off was the best thing they could do for the game, as it prevented the entirety of the game base having to be dealing with that and killing it off completely at the beginning. I think the PC, it was a nuisance. I'll even say it, there was some people I wanted to play with it were on PC and I was like, oh, we can't get into parties because it's what it is, we just have to wait. And now that it's back, I think in the time it's been back on and crossplay, I think I've maybe played 2 hacking people, and that was it. And one of them was just an instant open the battery and a gate in front of me while invisible. That it could have been even a bug, but I'm pretty sure it was a hack. And the other one was just an unstabbable Anna. She literally couldn't get hit, she couldn't take damage, nothing. 2 people out of the entire, and I've reported them, whatever, 2 people out of the entirety of it coming back was way better than what it was when crossplay was on at the beginning, because it was literally every second game, every third game, there was somebody doing something, floating above us, fucking running off into places and just not being able to get hit. It, like, I know it did probably piss off a lot of the PC players and the whole lot of the console army that wants to fight for their PC friends, but at the end of the day, I think the devs did the right thing. I think to save hassle and to save everybody a whole lot of upset in the future about what was going to be happening and a lot of hackers coming on and blah 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 blah, I think this was probably the best thing they could have done. I personally think what they did was the best thing they could have done. So that's my take on that. Again, I think that one might bring up, if you want to talk about the comments and whatever, that one might bring up some upset people, but I think that's my take on it. Now, we are kind of closing in the last couple of minutes, and I want to talk all the positives that I have about the game. I think this game is probably one of the most fun games I've played in a long time. There's something about it that, even when we were talking about on stream, I don't like comparing games. I don't like it. I don't like comparing the games, but when it comes to how it feels, and I said it about Dead by Daylight and Texas Chainsaw, there's something about Texas Chainsaw that just feels like it's less stressful. You're not, like, there's some games where you get bullied, and there's, like, not a lot you can do, but you can't, like, you can't even get pissed. And I the one thing I said, and I've said this to my community on streams, the whole lot, is I think the pressure is separated. You don't, when you're playing Killer on Dead by Daylight and you play bad or you lose a game really badly, that's on you. You played bad or they played good, but in your own head, and like as somebody who has 6k fucking hours on DVD, it's always, I played bad. I played bad. I should have done something better. I should have done this. I should have done that. On Texas Chainsaw, you have a bad game. You can go, right, maybe the team was the problem, or maybe the team against us was the problem, or we just didn't coordinate well enough, or whatever. But the pressure just comes off of your shoulder, and it just makes the game so much more fun. And people, I don't like it. I've seen a lot of big streamers where they're all becoming bully squads on this, and now they all don't want to play it because, oh, I've figured out the meta of the game. But nobody plays that way. Nobody plays in a way where they're opening every exit and they're stabbing killers 20 times a game. And I've again 200 hours. Maybe I need more hours to figure this shit out. Get to level 99, it becomes pain. But I've never had a game like that. And the people on YouTube, like the big streamers that I've seen that have been a full 4-man squad of just, hey, let's stab him up and budge him as Leland and blah, 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 blah. It's crap. It's crap. But I've had so much fun with it. I'm really in love with the game. I really hope the new content that comes out is really good. I hope any new characters that they decide to come up with is a really good idea. I hope that none of them come out in a state where like it instantly breaks the game, so everybody's like, oh my god, this person's so strong, they have to be in every game. And I hope that there's a balance and that they come up with some good ideas for powers and perks if they do add new perks, which I hope they do. A little bit of spice in some other people's in their skill trees would be really, really nice. I really hope, again, I don't want to go into a negative about this, but I hope that it is. I hope that the fact that they have, like, if they're charging how much they are for the characters and stuff, I hope it helps in bringing in other movie licenses. I hope that is a helpful factor for that. So to be able to do that for us or something, I'm not sure, but hopefully. I'm hopeful for the future of the game in general, to be honest. I'm really hoping that the game in general gets a nice lifespan. There's another certain other game which I don't really like name dropping other games in to be mean, but Evil Dead the game literally shot itself into the foot by its development, and I'm really hoping Gun Media aren't doing the same. Like there's so many negative people attacking this game and its developers and everything about it that it just starts to just brain rot. There's so many just negative people. Just let people enjoy it. If you're not having fun with the game, you're not liking something, just shut up. It's as easy as that. But that's kind of me covering everything I really wanted to say. I know most of it was negative, but you always talk more negatively, and you sprinkle onto the positives, which I don't really care about the negatives. Like, I've said my pieces now, and I really hope that the Valve is the main thing to me in Slaughterhouse. It ruins that map. I think it makes an already difficult map way more difficult, but that's kind of that. Now, this is where I kind of talk to anybody that watched the whole way through the video. Any feedback on these videos would be very much appreciated. Like, I just want to know if you want more Texas Chainsaw videos. I could do builds. I could do like talking about the builds that I run on everybody. I could do a whole different bunch of Texas Chainsaw content, and that just doesn't mean just for Texas Chainsaw. I could do Dead by Daylight videos like this. I am going to keep posting the FC career mode because I'm really enjoying doing that. It's just like a little side project that gives me something to do. And any ideas, generally, anybody who comes up with any kind of ideas for videos that I could do, I am going to start posting in November. Every Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, I'm going to be posting on TikTok, YouTube. That's what's happening. But yeah, just any ideas, let me know. But thank you for checking out the video, and hopefully it was a fun watch. Hopefully some people from the devs or anything check it out, and yeah, see you in the next one. Peace.